Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody, and good morning. I hope you got your cup of coffee and you are ready for some crypto. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, guys. I'm Crypto Kip, and today we got a lot of stories to cover. There's a lot of price action happening in Bitcoin and crypto. We were tumbling down. We're coming back up, but is the downside over? I don't know about that. There was a massive liquidation that happened just in the last couple days that I want to share with you guys. I want to show you this data to kind of give you an idea of what I believe might be on the table to come for Bitcoin and crypto. Elon Musk, of course, has been making some comments about Dogecoin and getting very involved in the crypto conversation. I think he's going to come into the play in the next bull market in a big way, as he tends to do. But the big question right now is Bitcoin oversold? Some people are saying yes, and some people are saying no, there's more downside. Frankly, right now in the short term, I do believe there's more downside. I'm going to make that case, but there are some predictions coming out for $148,000 Bitcoin in 2025. That's something that's certainly possible. Could it even go higher? Absolutely. So, maybe I'm a bear in the short term, but in the mid to long term, I'm an extreme bull. I'm so excited about this asset class and what's coming from it. But we'll take a look at some hard data today, and we'll take a look at the hard truth that is the fact that the S&P 500's movement and Bitcoin are still correlated. So if the traditional market has a correction, then Bitcoin will as well. And there's some fears of a recession, and not to mention that there is an interest rate hike likely coming. Now, is that coming next month or the following? We'll talk a little bit about that and the probability on that in this video. And we'll talk about some big time influencers that are doubling and tripling down in crypto, which what I think, is significant. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into some of the stories for the day. If you like the content, guys, smash up the like button. Crow Bro watching at work. Excellent. Turn on the notification bell, folks. And good to have you guys. Let's talk some crypto this morning. I hope you got your first cup of joe in you. I'm working on it right here. Let me take a sip. And let's get into it, folks. Let's get into it. So, first up, let's just peek at the market. Now, Bitcoin crypto is going up today. Now, the regular market just opened, and that's typically when you see, so 8:30 every single morning. That's one of the things I'm so excited about this live stream, guys, is because now I'm going to get to be streaming during the open market bell, which means that we're going to see some of the biggest volatility on Bitcoin and the regular market, and we'll get to talk about it on the stream. Now, right now, Bitcoin's moving up at the beginning of this bell. Getting going on the day. Ethereum is down actually a little bit. It was up to above $1,700 yesterday, which was pretty interesting. And it's coming back down. Why are they moving up? Well, the regular market kind of came back up a little bit as well. So that's something we saw going on. But there was a massive liquidation for Bitcoin recently, which I'm going to show you guys in the charts here in a minute after we kind of get through some of these top coins. So let's look at the gainers and losers for the last 7 days. In the last 7 days, a couple tokens came. Hey, sweet. This new token seems to have a little move up, 10% over the last week, which is interesting. Optimism. Bones, Shiba Swap, doing fine at an 8% move. The Shibarium launch is supposed to be relaunched here, I believe, this week. If it wasn't already relaunched, this Layer 2 solution for this program was kind of a flop. And they're planning on relaunching it. It had some good price action, but the overall crypto market crashed, and so did Shiba Inu. Now, in the last 7 days, the biggest losers are Conflux, ApeCoin. ApeCoin had a lot of hype in the last bull market. What's interesting to me is XRP was one of the biggest losers, and Uniswap in the last 7 days, which is very interesting. Now, XRP, guys, I'm getting increasingly bullish on this token into the next bull market. And I'm not saying buy this other token, but I just want you to do yourself a favor and keep an eye on Filecoin. Keep an eye on Filecoin for me. And the reason I say that is because Filecoin is just one of those tokens that I always remember in every single bull market. Out of nowhere, this token just explodes 200% like overnight. Now, I'm not telling you to buy this thing, but for trading purposes, it's a fun one to watch, and if you're like a day trader and you like to swing trade, sometimes this is a fun one to swing trade. It's actually a cool project. It's all about storage and data being stored on the blockchain, which is a very unique concept. There's a lot of great crypto tokens, but yeah, a lot of them are down big time today. Bitcoin is still down from its $30,000 price level, but it's slightly up today. And so now we got stories coming out like this. Bitcoin looks most oversold since COVID crash, key indicator suggests. And by the way, guys, if you're a crypto.com fan, which we talk a lot about crypto.com on this channel, crypto.com's got an ad here. They got ads everywhere. They're really doing a great job with their marketing. But this article was interesting to me. Bitcoin looks most oversold since COVID crash, key indicator suggests. Well, I'll tell you this. Fear and greed index shows that it's in the orange right now, not quite in the red, but it is more fearful than it is greedy. So yeah, in a way, that does mean that it is in fact oversold. But history would show us that there may be some room for some more downside, but that doesn't mean there's no reason to be bullish. Matter of fact, Bitcoin Magazine just put out this content today showing that $4.8 billion hedge fund Pantera is now predicting $148,000 Bitcoin by 2025. If that price action happens from the current prices of Bitcoin, I'll just take 148,000 divided by $26,000 Bitcoin. It's a 5.6x for Bitcoin. You can get a 5.6x by 2025 if that happens. That's a fantastic gain. That's not a 50x. That's not a 100x. But I think something like that is it's very reasonable. That's a reasonable price prediction. And what's interesting is with Bitcoin price predictions, you don't see a lot of reasonable price predictions. I do believe that this is a reasonable one. Tom Lee with Fundstrat is notorious for his price predictions. You have some other really big time investors that have come out with some wild price predictions for this, including I can't remember his name. There's so many different guys that come out with so many price predictions, but this is actually a pretty decent one. But don't be fooled, guys. Volatility can come and this thing can crash just because you think it's oversold, just because you think it's going to $148,000, which can certainly happen, and maybe it is oversold. Doesn't mean that it can't go down again. And here's a perfect example, and that's what you see on the thumbnail of this video because I wanted to share it with you guys here. The exchanges, you can kind of see on this list, but back on August 16th, guys, Binance, OKX, Bybit, Huobi, you can see some of the top exchanges here. These were all the liquidations that happened on August 16th, and there was $855 million, almost $900 million was liquidated from the Bitcoin and crypto markets, which look back here, guys. We didn't have any price action going on for months and months and months. The price of Bitcoin was like the same that it was since March for all the way until August. It was crazy. It was 5-6 months of nothing, boredom. And then all of a sudden, a massive liquidation event. And what do you get? You get a big move in the price of Bitcoin. It came down because the longs, the people that were bullish on crypto, the people who were betting that crypto went up, got greedy. They were buying and being greedy. And then what happened, guys? They got liquidated. Their bags went to zero, which triggered more sell-offs, and $900 million worth of longs were liquidated. Well, is something like that possible to happen again? Absolutely. It's going to happen again over and over and over and over again. And as more people are introducing liquidation in the market, which is going to happen over time as regulation comes into play and more entities take advantage of the fantastic opportunity as a market maker, as an exchange to provide an opportunity for leverage trading. It's a great way for them to make fees. It's a great way for them to make money. At the end of the day, who wins in leverage trading? Most of the time, it's the house. Who's the house? It's the exchanges, guys. There's some people out there that are fantastic at leverage trading, and you can make a lot of money leverage trading. But as you can see on August 16th, $900 million were lost. Imagine if you had a big trade out and you got completely liquidated. If you had $5,000 invested in Bitcoin at 4 or 5x leverage, you might have even gotten liquidated on this day because that was like a 12% correction. It's probably got to probably be at like a 7 or 10x, and you might have gotten liquidated on that day. And now you went from having 0.25 or 0.2 Bitcoin to zero. So that's something that you got to be careful of. But something like that, guys, is possible. So even if it's oversold, even if, hey, you think this thing's going to 100,000, be careful because along the way there's extreme volatility. That's what Bitcoin does. And at the matter of fact, guys, you could have predicted this. That was a dumb idea for anybody longing Bitcoin in August, you're going against the odds because historically, guys, August is bearish. We've been screaming this from a hilltop since the last couple months. I mean, we've been talking about this for the last 3 or 4 months on the channel. And we said there's downside coming in August. And it was inevitable, guys. This was inevitable that the downside was coming in August. And it's pretty much inevitable that it's coming in September. Now, it's not a guarantee, but there are some things that we have to look out for. For one, the S&P 500. Now, like I said earlier, as you can see, over the last 5 days, the S&P 500 has decided to come back up a little bit, which is very, very interesting. It was coming down. Typically, in the months leading into a year before a presidential election, specifically in September, the S&P 500 typically goes down. Now, if the S&P 500 does go down in September, well, then you would see Bitcoin come down as well. As we can kind of look back in history here, we'll go back to what, September? What's September? Boom, 8, 9, September. September, what do you see? Down, down, little dip there. Go back to another September. Let's see again. Boom, look at this September. Oh, big, big wreck in September 2018. Boom, that's the S&P 500, guys. S&P 500 got wrecked in September in 2018. Look at this drop. Look at this drop. The S&P 500 went from $300 down to $225. That's like a, oh my goodness, that's like a 30% correction for the S&P 500, which is like a huge, huge recession. You know, these are the kind of things, guys, that we're looking out for. Now, this, I believe, that might have been like, no, see, that wasn't even the COVID crash. The COVID crash was here. September was like almost as bad as the COVID crash. The COVID crash was worse, but September historically, guys, just look at the facts. This September, it didn't really dip in September in 2013. Let's see here, in not so much in 2010, but there are several years. You got 2014, it came down a little bit. You know, you can really look at this, guys, and you can kind of start to get an idea. And, you know, it kind of looks just in general like, you know, we're close to a top, almost even to a double top. I wouldn't be surprised to see, guys, in September, the S&P 500 come down to test like a $384 price level, which would translate to like a 30 or 40% correction. Is that possible? Sure. I'm not going to be surprised to see it. Could we get a 20-30% crash in the next, from today to the end of September? Sure, it's possible. I'm not predicting a massive recession. I'm not necessarily predicting that this is inevitable, but is it possible? Sure. And then look at how close we are to the previous all-time highs. I believe that the S&P 500 after that and after this, guys, can see some more massive upsides. So let's just get through the pain of August and September. And then look at this. Fed officials see upside risk to inflation possibly leading to more rate hikes. What is this? This is the Fed minutes. Now, the Fed minutes are basically the documents showing the conversations that the Board of Governors and Federal Chair Jerome Powell had during their last meeting in the previous month of July, where they decided they were going to raise the interest rates by 0.25%. Now, in September, there's another meeting coming up, specifically September 20th. And as you can see here on this CME Fed Watch tool, that's coming in 27 days, 4 hours, and 11 minutes, guys. But as you can see, according to this probability calculator, there is an 84.5% chance that the Fed will not raise the interest rate according to this target rate probabilities calculator for the interest rate hike plans. There's a 15% chance that they will. But look at this article, guys. After the Fed minutes came out, there was fear that there was going to be more interest rate hikes. And Federal Chair Jerome Powell many times in the past has alluded that there might be one or two more, might be even two more. He had one. Is he going to have a second one? It's certainly possible, guys. And if that happens, that could be the thing in September, guys, that drives this thing down. And who knows, maybe even October, which is typically bullish, could just turn bearish because of that. Or we could get max pain in the end of September and then a relief rally in October and start rallying. And maybe even then you see the S&P 500 start to break out to all-time highs. That might be a little premature. These are things that we have to consider because if you're looking at the S&P 500, then you can get an idea what happens with Bitcoin. But don't be fooled just because the probability is an 85% chance. It's not really an 85% chance. This is not really a great indicator here, because a news story can come out and it can change the probability. We talk about a black swan event in crypto all the time. 84.5% chance that they're not going to raise the rates. It's not an 84.5% chance. I have seen this thing at like a 90% chance that they were going to raise the rates, and then 2 days before, all of a sudden, it's like a 90% chance because a news story came out. There's some comments that are made by the Fed, and they changed their mind. They can change their mind because at the end of the day, it's the regulators that control all the monetary policies across the world. They control the banks. They control the printing of money. Heck, they control your wealth. That's what this tool is. That's what these people are doing with interest, with inflation rate hikes, with taxes. You know how it works, guys. And that's why Bitcoin is the escape hatch, which is why I'm very, very bullish on it. I really am. Patrick Mahomes can't quit crypto. This was an interesting story that I want to share with you guys. So Patrick Mahomes is one of the most famous quarterbacks in NFL history, in my opinion. And his wife is definitely the most famous influencer when it comes to NFL quarterbacks' wives in the NFL history, possibly next to like Aaron Rodgers, love interests maybe. But Patrick Mahomes is definitely a very successful quarterback in this league, and he's a big crypto bull. In fact, Azuki is a very popular NFT. He's got his own custom Patrick Mahomes Azuki NFT, which is very, very interesting. But this is good to see because you want to see more popular figures like this. Somebody that people like. Some people hate him. A lot of people love him, though, it seems. You want to see more people like this get into crypto because we had a big spook out of crypto when it came to the FTX crash. You saw Tom Brady get out. You saw Shaq having issues with crypto things. He was avoiding legal papers. It's so funny. Like this 7-8 foot tall man, nobody could give him the legal documents at the same time. Like Shaq's everywhere. One time I went on a family vacation down into the Bahamas. I think we went to like the Dominican Republic with my family. It was a really beautiful trip. And it was for New Year's, and Shaq was our DJ. He's everywhere. We want to see more crypto influencers, some big time celebrities like Shaq, like Patrick Mahomes, like, anybody really we can get. The more people that are getting involved in crypto, the more people are talking about crypto, the higher the prices can go, the more FOMO can kick in, and eventually that will happen. We want to get away from stories like this. Fed charge Tornado Cash founders in $1 billion alleged crypto money laundering scheme, including millions for North Korea. Now, we've seen so many times throughout history that North Korea hacked this, North Korean hackers did this, North Korea hackers did this. Well, how do they take that crypto and cash it out? Well, the answer turns out that it was through this Tornado Cash app that they were able to use, which is basically a money laundering system. Now, Senator Elizabeth Warren has come out against this many times, saying that people are using this to evade Russian sanctions, right? Sanctions on Russia, given the Russia-Ukraine conflict that's going on right now. And that's true. North Korea is definitely one of the biggest utilizers of this, as they have done millions and millions and millions of dollars. In fact, they're doing more hacks, it seems, every single week. And they use services like this to end up churning that cash out and making money. These founders were charged in this $1 billion alleged crypto money laundering scheme. Getting rid of these players, I think, is good in the long run for crypto. But in the short term, just causes more fear for the mainstream media, for the masses. And that's not going to help the FOMO message. Things like this help FOMO. Patrick Mahomes can't quit crypto. He's a crypto bull. Things like $148,000 Bitcoin prediction are bullish. Things like looking at the S&P 500 and determining when it's breaking out, Bitcoin's going to go up. That's bullish for crypto as well. We got to kind of wait for a bull rally, and eventually that will come, guys. But let's just look at the prices for crypto overall. Soda Rican Crypto says, we crashing again? No. I mean, honestly, guys, yeah, I think there's a good chance that September turns bearish. Now, it doesn't go bullish, maybe, and if it does, that's spectacular. I'm not gonna be upset. I'll be happy if Bitcoin goes up. But if Bitcoin goes down in September, I'm gonna be buying more. And I'll be excited about the discount that I get. At the end of the day, if I'm gonna go shopping, I'd much rather shop on the clearance rack than in the the head caps of the aisles where they're going to mark up everything and they're going to give you the premium brands, right? I'm going to look for the discount, the off-brand thing. I'm looking for deals personally in my purchases, in my food purchases, in my clothing purchases, right? I'm trying to save some money where I can. And I take the same approach to my investing strategy. I'm buying Bitcoin when it's going down. And so a sale, hey, oh, this hat that I wanted to buy is on sale. That's exciting. I think I'll buy it now, right? That's the kind of same concept that I have going on with Bitcoin. As for the key levels that we might see out of this thing, if the S&P 500 comes down, and look how very similar shaped Bitcoin and the S&P 500 are. Matter of fact, I'm going to see real quick if I can pull up the SPY. Yes. Okay. Very good. Look at, see, that's not that good. Hold on. Let's try that one more time. We want to do SPY versus, no. Let's try this one more time. SPY, is that a good one? That's not a good one either. These aren't very good charts for the S&P 500. All right. Anyway, Bitcoin and the S&P 500 are right now, they have a very similar chart. You can actually see, I'll do this. Give me 1 second here. Let's get it all teed up for you guys. So we'll do that. I'll pull that over there and let me share the screen again. So just look at it, guys. You have peak, fall, attempted another peak. But we're not quite getting there. And what do we got for Bitcoin? We got a peak, fall, and another peak. Well, we're not quite getting there. And just like the S&P 500, and me anticipating that, hey, I mean, these look so similar, guys. These really do. Hey, this thing might come down to one of these levels over here, right? We might see some of these come over here, right? We might see this level get, can I draw on here? No. We might see this thing come down to $390, $370. Again, look at Bitcoin. If Bitcoin kind of follows that same down to, not 16,000 necessarily, but maybe down to 18,000, something like that. Yeah, guys, you could be looking at another 20% downside. That could happen. A 20K Bitcoin flash crash. Could we get that in September? Yeah, especially if the Fed raises the interest rates, causing more fear. But then after that, guys, I think there's a strong chance that we could just start rallying, leading into the Bitcoin halving. If we get back to previous all-time highs, that'd be fantastic. If you buy at 20K and we get back to previous all-time highs, that's a 2.3x for you just to get started. And then Bitcoin always tends to go into price discovery mode. And then it breaks out from the previous high in the last bull cycle, from peak to the next peak, Bitcoin went up an additional 240%. So something like that could happen. Maybe it goes up 200% here, another 200% in the bull market. Heck, if the Bitcoin spot ETF is approved, it could go up bigger than ever before. This time it's different is a dangerous saying. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I am saying that, there are new players coming into the space. And so, yeah, the landscape could be different. Now, how that affects the 4-year cycle, how that affects the volatility, we'll have to see. Who knows how that plays out. As bigger money comes in, that smarter money, there's a little more volatility. That's why we had such a weird bull cycle last time where there was like a double top. In 2017, it was just peak and crash. In the last bull market, we had peak and crash. Is it over? Is it over? No, it's over. People said, no, it's not over. Some people said, yeah, it's over. And then boom, we had another one and people said, I told you so. And then people thought, hey, this thing's going to keep going up. I thought this thing was going to keep going up at 69K, but it didn't. We don't get all our predictions right, guys. You can't. It's impossible. And it came right back down. The volatility is unpredictable, but as this Bitcoin spot ETF comes into the picture, guys, one thing's for sure is that this market could explode. This could explode and give you some extreme volatility. The other key thing is we're at a very key level, guys, for the overall market cap. Right now, we bounced off the $1 trillion threshold pretty strongly. Actually, let me pull you guys over to the daily candles for Bitcoin real quick. Okay, so here you go. Here's your daily candles. big day. Again, August 17th, the 16th and 17th. What do we have? A $900 million liquidation. So what did we get? Bitcoin fell. And then we bounced just pretty much perfectly, 990 billion, right? Basically off the $1 trillion threshold, 990 billion, same thing. We wicked down below $1 trillion. And we started to come back up. Yesterday was pretty decent. We came back up because the S&P 500 was going up. But today, we still have a red candle on the overall market cap. We're not quite sure. I likely think, guys, that this thing trickles on down, comes down, and I think that it's possible because just looking at key levels that this thing comes down possibly all the way 24% down to like 754 billion for the market cap overall. This is what I'm looking out for, guys. You got to keep an eye on all this. Fortunately for Binance holders, now there's been a lot of fear for Binance lately, guys. Binance is holding pretty darn well right now. It's hanging in there. If the overall market crashes, you can expect Binance to probably just rip this Band-Aid off and take a tumble. If it does tumble down, you can see that historically it comes back pretty quick. November, December, January, February, March. In just a couple short months, it wiped out its crash from the 2017 bull run. So, I mean, maybe that's actually like about a year, which is a little bit longer than a couple months. But these things can V-shape recover. You get to a bottom, all of a sudden, boom, we can come back up. If this thing does crash, it would then immediately be oversold. I think it would have a strong recovery because it is, after all, Binance token. But Crocoin's looking healthier, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, if this goes down to the bottom of its channel, it's got less downside versus the dollar. And then, in turn, it's got more upside versus its previous peak as well. So that's pretty cool to see, and that gets me pretty excited for Crocoin. There's a lot of great altcoins right now, but the fact of the matter is this, guys, is that altcoins aren't really supposed to perform that well until the Bitcoin bull market occurs and really gets going and money starts flowing into Bitcoin. When people start making a lot of money in Bitcoin and they start wanting to take profits here, take profits there, that's when, guys, we can start to expect the altcoins to go up because people take profit from Bitcoin. They put their profits into altcoins to make more gains because the altcoin rally comes after a Bitcoin move up. Bitcoin crashes, altcoins crash more. Bitcoin pumps, altcoins lag behind, and then eventually pump more. Most of them, the good ones at least, not all of them. Some altcoins die. Crocoin, Binance, those are exchange tokens. I'm bullish on exchange tokens. We talk about exchange tokens a lot on this channel. I'm also bullish on Ethereum and Ethereum competitors, at least the ones that are significant. Cardano, Solana, Polkadot possibly, right? Cronos, Binance Chain. Even though these are exchange tokens, these are Ethereum competitors as well, which gives me even more of a bull case for these exchange tokens. But guys, it gets me pretty excited. So that's kind of where my head's at right now. That's some of the big stories for the day that I needed to share with you guys. I want to make sure that we kind of got to that. And just look what was going on here. Let's see what else is going on here on the S&P 500 for the day right now. S&P 500, guys, is looking like it wants to come down. Market opened about 30 minutes ago. Right now, this thing already fell about $2 for the day. Started a little bit higher, actually. So let's see here. It opened over here at about $444, came down in a big way immediately, and then spiked up and is trying to come back down right now. So looks like maybe, guys, there's some more downside coming. And again, that does correspond with this, guys. This corresponds with August and September. They're typically red. They're typically red, folks. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. Okay, let's do a little bit of Q&A, folks. Let's do a little bit of Q&A. Morning streams. Do we like the morning streams, guys? I'm a fan. You know what? I like getting up a little bit earlier. I like kind of getting my brain organized here in the morning and bringing you guys content first thing. I want to be first to break the news on some of this stuff, and so we're really going to have an opportunity to do that on this channel, which is pretty cool. Some people are tuning in at work. Love to see it. Let's see what else we got going on. A 5x on Bitcoin is probably one of the safest plays, though. Yeah, I mean, it really is. Bitcoin is the safest place. So, Crowbro, you're spot on when it comes to, you want to make money in crypto? If I'm talking to somebody new, if I'm talking to somebody that hasn't been in crypto ever before, my recommendation is, and I'm not a financial advisor, so don't be fooled there. You don't want to research crypto. You don't have so many people say, well, hey, do you know anything about, what do you know about crypto? And then I get a lot of people that say, yeah, man, I heard of it. I just don't know enough about it. So I kind of stay away from it because I just don't have the time to look into it. And I always go, oh yeah, no, it takes a lot of time to look into it. It doesn't really take that much time to look into it, guys. It's just, honestly, sorry, anybody that I've ever talked to and you said that to me, I think you're lazy. You can look into it. If you want to make money and you say you don't have enough time to look into Bitcoin, you're just lazy, and I think you're ignorant, to be honest with you, too. But I never tell that to anybody's face because I don't want to be, frankly, rude to somebody in a conversation if they don't believe in Bitcoin. I don't want to be a Bitcoin snob. But at the end of the day, if somebody tells you, hey, I'm making a lot of money over here, don't you think it's worth looking into it a little bit? Hey, you can make a lot of money with this. Oh, forget that, man. I don't want it. What? What are you doing? Why wouldn't you take a peek at it? At the end of the day, though, guys, that's kind of how this works. But as I was saying, if I'm talking to somebody new and they say, oh, man, I just don't have time for it. It's like, look, I get it. But you see that it's big, right? Yeah, it's big. I want to, I'd like to, but this, that, excuse. Look at Bitcoin. Just look at Bitcoin. Heck, if you're interested in it at all, don't even worry about all these altcoins. There's so many tokens out. Don't worry about the altcoins. Forget the altcoins. Buy Bitcoin. Hold it. Buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. Buy $500 worth. Buy $100 worth of, and watch it. Just get something in there. Buy $50 worth of. Buy $10,000 worth. Whatever you can afford to lose. Right. That's what you always got to say. Play the game. Watch this. Watch the chart. And watch your asset move, and then maybe as you watch this thing go up over time, because on average, Bitcoin goes up 100% year over year, that might motivate you to do a little bit more research, or at the very least, you make a couple $100, a couple $1,000, and you're happy, right? Maybe you get wrecked and you experience a crash, but I always tell people, you're not buying Bitcoin to flip it in a month. You shouldn't be buying Bitcoin to flip it in 6 months. First of all, capital gains tax, you'll get wrecked. You'll get taxed at 30% instead of long-term capital gains tax, which is holding it over 365 days without trading it. You get a preferred tax rate, 10 or 15%, depending on your tax bracket. You're not buying Bitcoin to panic sell in 6 months. You're buying it because you want to just get exposure. And so it's like the first thing that I do. So yeah, I mean, it's the safest play, and it's my number one recommendation to anybody new to the crypto market. If you're brand new to crypto and you're watching my channel at any time and you're just terrified and you can't pull the trigger, I mean, the first coin I'd have you look at is Bitcoin. It's not financial advice, but it's just it's the safest, smartest play out there that a lot of people would agree with. So, yeah, very, very interesting to see how this is going down. A lot of people are happy that they have an opportunity to accumulate and DCA during these price levels that we got right now, and I am too. I think it's fantastic. Rafael Pitt says, what about the new Bencoin updates and his connections and Dubai support money coming in? Where do you think Ben can go? Well, Ben token, good question, Raphael. So BitBoy Crypto, the largest crypto influencer in the world. Actually, two things recently. One, he moved his organization, BitBoy Crypto, to Dubai officially. He also launched a Dubai token, which hasn't been performing spectacularly per se, but Ben token is associated with Dubai and they're connected in some way. Anyway, Ben has been teasing that there's massive updates coming in the next four to 6 weeks or something like that. We don't necessarily know what they're going to be. We've seen some of the ads in the street campaigns that the slogan for the Ben token is be everywhere now, BEN, be everywhere now, Ben, right? So they're trying to spread awareness about crypto, which I love the message. I'm bullish on the token because I'm bullish on BitBoy. BitBoy's not going anywhere. If you think Ben Armstrong's token isn't going to go up, I think you gotta get your head out of the clouds. I think the token's gonna go up. I'm not saying it's the most fantastic project. I'm not saying that it's a revolutionary project. I'm just saying that people kind of buy what they like from who they like, and he's the largest influencer in crypto. Likely people are gonna buy this token. Whatever announcements come out for the Ben token, they'll likely help the token a little bit. I don't think it's gonna send the token exploding in the next 6 months or so. You know, maybe you got 100, 200% gain, but I don't think it's going to send it to a penny. You know, I saw he did a video that, hey, Bencoin to a penny. Maybe in the peak of the next bull market, but even that is going to be a stretch. Is it possible? Certainly it's possible. Is it likely? Not likely, but possible, guys. I have Bencoin. I like to hold Bencoin. Some people lost their Bencoin in the SIM card hacks, that swap hacks that have been happening lately. I actually reached out to the Bencoin team yesterday on behalf of those people to see when they were going to give that money back, if they were going to give that money back. The Telegram was a little bit snappy. They're sick and tired of people asking about when the Bencoin reimbursement is coming for the SIM card swap hack. But they did answer my question. The mods and the supervisors in the chat came in. They were very nice. And they told me that, you know, stay posted. Updates are coming. So they do intend on reimbursing some people, depending on what token you had. I don't know if it's 100% of the funds, TBD. But there you go. There is your update. And yes, it's migrating to V2. So they've been talking about potentially doing that for a while as well. So Crowbro asks, so you don't have time to be financially free? Whatever. Exactly. Guys, at the end of the day, look, I watched a documentary with my wife last night, and something that I've watched in the past, for those of you guys that have never heard this name or seen this documentary, I highly suggest you check it out. It's called Noam Chomsky's Manufactured Consent. And there's a new documentary that actually came out recently, and I can't remember the name of this one, but just YouTube it, Noam Chomsky. Look at the most recent one. I think this documentary came out 5 or 6 months ago, but it kind of gets into the direction that America is headed. And it kind of goes all the way back to Adam Smith. It goes back to Aristotle, and it goes back in a history of societies, and kind of shows that there are masters of men, right? There are people in this world that control everything in it. Bitcoin is the only path off that route of the masters of men, right? Right now, guys, back to your point, Crowbro, you want to be financial, you don't have time to be financially free, whatever. Yeah, I mean, right now, guys, essentially, you know, people's savings are lowest as they've ever been. 60%, I think, of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. It is so tough right now. A requiem for the American dream. That's what it is. What is a requiem? It's in memory of, it's in recollection of, right? It's going back and remembering the good old times. The requiem for the American, is the American dream dead? It's not completely dead, but it's getting harder and harder. It's not as easy as it used to be 50, 60 years ago, where you could just go have a job, buy a car, you know, go ahead and buy a house and have an easy life, right? You weren't living necessarily paycheck to paycheck as frequently. Less people were living paycheck to paycheck 50, 60 years ago, because at that time, we didn't have as strong of a grip on society from the master men. Well, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the banks getting together with the treasury, with the government agencies to start printing money, to start building up the national debt, to start creating college student loans, massive amount of debts that people are essentially chains and shackles to their life, where they're just paying off debts their entire life. Student loans, car loans, you name it, guys, credit card debts. This stuff is all so dangerous. And this is the modern prison, right? We don't have slavery anymore. That doesn't exist. Not in the way that you think it could exist, right? But we are essentially slaves to the dollar at this point. We are essentially slaves to our debt, which we live in a world where they want you to be a consumer. They want you to go buy things that you need, buy things that you don't need, buy more things that you don't need, keep buying, rack up that credit card debt, keep purchasing, keep driving manufacturing, not manufacturing here in the US, we push that overseas. But you kind of see the direction this world is going, and it's not really going in a great direction for the middle class and for the lower class. In fact, the rich are getting richer. The 1% is getting down to the 0.5%, the 0.05%. It's a smaller and smaller group as the masses just keep breeding and the wealthy just stay in their tight niche community. It's not really getting any better, and we need an off-ramp, and Bitcoin and crypto are that off-ramp, guys. So, wow, you got me going, Crow Bro. I watched that documentary last night. I highly recommend you guys check it out. Noam Chomsky's Manufactured Consent. It's fantastic. Noam Chomsky's Requiem for a Dream. Also fantastic. Really gets into it. People say, hey, the system's a scam. Well, you decide for yourself. Watch that documentary, guys. Well, that's all the crypto updates I got for you guys in this video. I'm going to leave it at that for the day. Thanks for joining us on this stream. I'm going to be doing these streams every single weekday at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to kind of vibe it out, see what time works best for everybody and when they want to tune in necessarily. But let me know in the comments down below. Do you like the streams? Do you like the live streams? Do you like Bitcoin content? Do you want to only see Crow content? Do you want to see other coins? Give me some feedback in the comments down below. We appreciate everything you guys share with us in the comments. We read them all. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you guys. That's all I got in this one. I am Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Don't forget to smash the like, subscribe to the channel. And as always, folks, you got to remember to DCA, HODL, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. I got 2 videos for you right here if you want to check them out. Peace.